ACI 6, class 8.
8.
Hi, everybody. Mm, okay, so should we start with the motivation?
Sure.
Close your eyes, sit up straight. Exhale, inhale 3-4 times to understand that you are in a different process right now. It's a class. And think about your problems in your life. Make a decision that you will use every piece of information in this class. You will plant every seed you can to not only stop your problems, but to help everybody else. Whatever it will take. Open your eyes and we can start.
Do you want to start with a meditation? Or do you want to just go to the class? Sometimes you like to do a meditation.
No, we just did the motivation.
Okay. Motivation, meditation. I wasn't here for the King of Kalinka yesterday, which was a little. We just got back from Mexico City. I'm sure you told them. It was a great trip. It uh, was really fantastic. It was Geshe Michael gave probably the single best class on the mind only school I've ever heard. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. He keeps updating the language, and it was really, it was special. It was great to be there.
Maybe because you read the Golden Key 3 times.
Yeah, well, I I like the mind only school. I think it's really helpful, frankly, for understanding this worldview as a bridge, and I'm working on understanding the middle way schools. Well, I'm working on understanding the mind only school for that matter. Uh,
What
but
about the King of Kalinka?
it's one of the, I say this every class, uh, but it's one of the best stories, right, for kind of understanding uh, what it means to not have any mental afflictions and what this worldview means. And also, so at this point in the Buddha's life, he's an Arya, right? But he's not reached full enlightenment. And so he still has the remainders, right? His old past seeds. He's not creating any new mental afflictions. And but he's not he's not creating any new mental afflictions. Somebody's cutting his fingers off and he's not getting angry, right? Uh boy, that's extreme, right? Uh and I think it's
Did I tell you that I heard the second part of the story
what happens.
about the King Kalinka?
Well, what happens in the King of Kalinka? The second part.
I will not tell you now. I will tell you at the end of the class.
Oh, okay, good. Because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't think you heard it
I may
because
not have.
Geshe Michael, I don't know which session it was. Maybe session 8 or 9 of Mixed Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he discovered the second part of the story.
Okay. Oh, if you said
And
it in mixed, that's it. Then I don't think I've heard it. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
probably you don't.
great.
And I will not tell you. I will tell you at the end of the class.
All right. It's like one of the like every class has something that's just really like changes your worldview permanently, right? And so the King of Kalinka was definitely one of them where somebody who really understood emptiness, they just can't get mad at it because that's even something as extreme as your fingers getting cut off, right? Uh, it's it's hard for a conventional person to imagine. So anyway, I was a little I was disappointed I missed that one because it was such a profound story. So, but Diamond Cutter Sutra, Inga Kalinka.
Yeah, so where we are in the Diamond Cutter Sutra course, and we were talking about how this whole path works for every living being, and how you can get to see emptiness directly. What are the realizations that you have after you do it? And the last class was what happens next, right? How you get rid of mental afflictions. Guess what we are doing today? Today we will talk how emptiness and some techniques help you to get to your Buddha paradise. And in the reading, you will see that they say, let me even quote. Suppose, Subhuti, that some bodhisattvas say, I'm working to create my own paradise. That would not be true. It does not, I mean, it's strange, right? What do you mean? There is no paradise or what? Why is that? Because those who have gone before us have said that these places called heaven, these lands we are working on, do not even exist. And that is precisely why we can call them heaven. I think we should discuss it a little bit. And here, my love, I'm scrolling through my old slides, so we don't use them now. It just I wanted to quote. Every time they're pretty frustrating, right? Subhuti and the Lord Buddha.
What, these statements?
I mean, they teach us how to get our Buddha paradise, and then they say, oh, by the way, it does not exist, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Oakman, Maitreya's paradise doesn't exist and can never exist.
You know what they will say? It does not exist. This is why you can get to Oakman.
Yeah, exactly. They're exaggerated, right? A bit. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's that it doesn't exist the way you think it does, right? It doesn't exist as anything other than your mind's projection. That was one of the things I'm thinking about Mexico City, right? One of the moments that Geshe talked about, he said, well, you know, if everything exists as your projections, do other people exist if it's just your mind's projection? And
do they exist really?
Do they exist really? He said, well, he said, and this was really profound because it was clear. He said that other people don't exist as anything other than your projection, but they are independent because of your projections. He said, your seeds are that powerful. Are the other people coming from you? Yes. Do they exist? Well, not really, not independent of you, but do they have an independent mind, like a legitimate independent mind? Well, yeah. Your seeds are that powerful. You can create functioning other people.
Right? Yeah, like your wife may disagree with you, right?
And she really disagrees.
And still be in your projection.
Yeah, but they're legitimately independent. Does that make sense? It was a pretty profound moment. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Okay, let's go on then. Can we have the first slide? Because now we should dig deeper into what does he mean about the paradise that does not exist.
Well, just for a second on Mexico City, do people know that Geshe Michael has been teaching classes for the Diamond Way? Then, if you should watch them. They're available online, even if you can't travel to Mexico City. They're really quite great. It's his teachings have been very powerful. So, but we were in Mexico City last week for his classes. So that's why we're talking about Mexico City.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. I want to say that people are asking if we will do the how you call it, recover classes or review classes for what we received from Geshe Michael in Mexico and in Arizona. Yes, we will. We will plan it later on. So if you missed it, don't worry. There are teachers now that are passing the transmission, and we will definitely do it. We don't know when. Maybe after the third Lamrim, because to be honest, our schedule is pretty tight. But we definitely will. So let's go back to the class. So
yeah, the mind-only school class particularly would be fun to do.
No, there is no mind-only class because it was a mixed nuts class.
Oh,
and
okay.
We will be teaching devil debates the angel.
That was mixed nuts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, your wife can disagree.
Well, no, you're right. You're right.
Okay. So we are talking here about paradise, and specifically, Geshe Michael wants us to think about the future Buddha paradise. The future Buddha that is every time he keeps saying that is more close than we can think of, than we could expect. And honestly, I don't know what to think anymore because for me, close, it means like within 10 years. Let's see.
Oh, Maitreya. Oh, yeah, every time. And you know what's interesting? I'm never like I want to ask him, and
you never did.
Well, it's not. I never get the opportunity, right? Like you're there, and you're like, what do you mean by Maitreya is close? And then somehow I don't have the karma to be able to ask him directly.
Wow, it's true because I also didn't come to my mind. I mean, I have seen Geshe Michael. I could ask the question in Mexico.
I've seen it before. Like you'll be there, you'll have a lunch with them, and then somehow you just
don't ask.
Well, it's not just that you don't ask, you'll want to ask, but then the conversation just doesn't flow so that you could even get the question out. So anyway.
But we didn't forget to ask him to marry us.
Yeah, he said
this time.
Yeah. Well, we'd asked before, but anyway.
Okay, so Maitreya paradise. Maitreya is a coming Buddha. According to Geshe Michael, he is sooner that you think. Whatever you think, it is sooner.
One of the predictions, I think you guys know this, one of the predictions says that he will come 2,500 years after Shakyamuni Buddha, which would be
now.
So hopefully
actually, I didn't hear this one.
Really? No kidding?
I was thinking it's like tenth of thousands of years.
No, one of the predictions was that he would come now.
Yeah. And you can think who is the most suspicious for you, who can be the Maitreya. Okay, so there is a name that I tried to say the third time already, Dak Peshin Kam, the Pure Land. It's a very famous expression in Tibetan that means pure land or Buddha paradise. Dakshin, right? Dakshin they use as short one. Tibetans, they like to shorten words like Dak Peshin Kam, they shorten as Dakshin. So Mm, and what Geshe Michael wants us to think at this point of the course is how Maitreya gets to his paradise, which generally applies to all Buddhas, right? And there are six stages, right? Two descriptions from different sources. Let's do the one that is on the homework. So there are six different things that happen simultaneously as at the very first instant when Maitreya or another Buddha reaches enlightenment in their paradise. And by Buddha, we mean angels, right? In certain traditions.
And I want to emphasize that when we're talking about like what does it mean to get enlightened, this is it. We're going to describe what it means to reach enlightenment, and so once if somebody says, "Well, I got enlightened," you know, this is it, and this is what you will. Every person here inevitably will at some point reach this stage, and you know, it may be this lifetime, it may be eons away, but eventually your ignorance will lose to your wisdom. Your wisdom will triumph over your ignorance, and you will go through these stages. So, you know, hopefully this lifetime, sooner rather than later, because and that's the goal, right? Is to do it this lifetime.
So there are several words that I used for paradise, because we are talking about how a Buddha or Maitreya reaches his paradise. It is, and what we will discuss comes from Abhisamaya Alankara, the ornament of realization that is currently translated by whom? By Geshe Michael and Tim Lauenhaupt. So the words for paradise are, I will give you several words. Okmin, meaning the paradise below no other, meaning the highest. Second word is Akanishtha, then Ganden, Tushita, Sangye Kishin, that's pure Tibetan, and Sangye Kisa, like Buddha's land, right? Buddha's field or Buddha's land. So what happens here is that Buddha is a bodhisattva at the final moment, existence before becoming a Buddha in samsara. And he is in his final meditation. He perceives all total amount of things referring to all the objects of deceptive reality in all three times. Then what happens? It is called the Jinya Chutok, right? Then he reaches the absolute end. It's a combination that refers to emptiness itself, but here it means the cessation of aging and death, Yandakta. Could we have the next slide, please? Next slide. Thank you. So he reaches the end of aging and death. Then he achieves the Dharma body, referring to the emptiness of the three other Buddha bodies, Chuku, right? Then he attains the enlightenment in relation to all objects, meaning he perceives the absolute reality of all existing things. It's next slide. So it's what? It's 4, right? Sangyapa. he perceives the ultimate reality. Before he had the knowledge about all the things in the deceptive reality, and here he knows the absolute reality of all the things. Then he attains the body of enjoyment, 5, Lonku, paradise body. Because his body transforms during the final meditation. He achieves Lonku. And the step number 6, he achieves what will cause the infinite emanations of a Buddha, which begins in the very next moment, like second millisecond, they say. Geshe Michael says, the second millisecond, he achieves his paradise body, and he can send his emanations, Trulku. Trulku Gyu is the cause of emanation or something like that. Trulku is his emanation body.
And so when we say that, talking about the ultimate reality of all existing things, you know what we mean by that is the emptiness of everything. That's their ultimate reality. And then in Geshe-la's class, he talked about in Bodh Gaya, which, if you're interested, he gave 3 different classes. He gave this class 3 times. And
even 4.
The 4?
Also in Australia.
Okay. In Bodh Gaya, it was an interesting one, because here he talked about how they would debate in the monastery about, did Maitreya achieve the 4 bodies of a Buddha? And then it's a tricky debate, because here, like, you could say, well, no, he only had 3 bodies of the Buddha, because initially he hasn't done the emanations, the Trulku. And so that's the kind of thing that they would be. So you see, like, he didn't, when he first achieved his enlightenment, he hadn't had the emanations yet. So he only has 3 of the 4 bodies. He hasn't done the emanation bodies yet. So anyway, that's the kind of thing that they could debate in the monastery.
Yeah. At which point he has the emanations, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first description. There is a second description about how he, what happens to him when he enters the Ganden, right? When he is done being in samsara. And I mean, for us, it's a little bit difficult to understand, right? Because it's such a far, for me, it sometimes feels far. So what they say, that he's a bodhisattva at the final moment of existence. Then he dwells in Ganden, the heaven of bliss. Then he lives his emanation in the paradise of Ganden, right? I mean, his Lonku, his enjoyment body. He manifests his Dharmakaya, the essence of wisdom, in Okmin, the paradise no higher. Then he returns to the emanation he left in Ganden and enters his mother's womb. And then he performs the remaining 11 deeds of the Buddha. So that's another description of Maitreya getting into paradise. And it's not in your homeworks. This is why it's not in the questions, right? Yeah. Okay, so he got into his paradise. Then why does the truth about suffering does not exist in Buddha paradise? There is a question that is quite often a question of the debates. and we should discuss about it, because it brings us to what is missing for an arhat, or even for us to achieve the Buddha state, right? And basically, it is related to the fact that there are no mental afflictions in the paradise. Mental afflictions cause you to collect negative karma. Negative karma causes further suffering. It perpetuates itself, and by eliminating past negative karma and mental afflictions, you basically, and from one side, and by understanding how the world functions from another side, you get to your paradise. You create your paradise. This is why in the beginning of the class, we have these strange words like, do you think bodhisattvas create paradise? No, of course, they do not create their paradise. This is why you get into paradise. Something like that, right? So it's because you do not build it. You don't need a construction team to build your paradise. You do not create your paradise by moving into a nice villa somewhere on the island. It is something that you create by acting in this world, because you understand that everything should not be the way it looks like.
It's hard to imagine, right? Like, where does this come from? Does it come from a factory in China? Or does it come from my mental projections, right? I mean, it sure looks like somebody on the other side of the world, poured some plastic into a mold and, made a little tiny spring and, poured some ink into a long cylinder and boxed thousands of them up and put them on a boat and shipped it over here to the United States. And then somehow we ended up with a pretty purple pen from Right Tech, right? I mean, it even says, okay, Right Tech, and they've got a registered trademark saying we built it in China. And then, so was it made in China, or was it made by your projections, right? It's hard to, it's why they call it deceptive reality. It sure as heck looks like it was, the cause for this was some people on the other side of the planet making it, right? And they're going to say, we are going to say, no, it's your mind's projections. Just like in a dream, like I've seen in my dreams like beautiful, beautiful buildings, right? With architecture and I'm not a musician, but I've heard classical music in my dreams that I've never heard anywhere else. I've heard popular music, like modern music in my dreams that I've never heard anywhere else. Well, where did that come from, right? Well, your mind, right? Like it wasn't built by anybody. There was no separate composer in for your dreams, right? It wasn't like Beethoven sat down and said, well, let me write a piece of music for Bill's dreams. Your mind does that. Your mind has that capacity. And so it's the same way, right? Like who made this pen? Your mind's projections. It's hard to grasp onto, because it sure as heck looks like somebody outside of myself is doing it, but that's not the case. And I'm sure you've all had experiences where there's been something in your dream. You're like, well, like you're talking to somebody, right? And you don't know what they're going to say, but where's it coming from, right? It's the same thing. Your mind's projecting it.
Okay. So we talked about six different things that simultaneously goes on when they reach enlightenment, the Buddhas, right?
One last thing. Why do we care, right? Like, why do we care whether this comes from China or whether your mind's projecting it? If it comes from China, you're kind of stuck. There's nothing you can do. You're going to have to go to the store and buy it. And if it's your mind's projections, it can be anything you want it to be, right? You can change your mind and change your projection. That's why we care. That's why Lord Buddha is going through such a dramatic display of talking about there not being anything there. He says it's not there the way you think it is. And because of that, it can be paradise. That's why it's important. You can reach your paradise because of that. If this was made in China, you can't reach paradise. You're stuck. If this was made by your mind, you can reach paradise in this lifetime. And it's not like you have to travel 1 billion miles away to some other paradise. It's right here, right where you're. Okay, so 6 things.
Yeah. So in his paradise, there is no truth of suffering, right? It does not exist.
Right.
So the second question will be why it does not exist. Because there is no negative karma and no negative affliction, no mental afflictions to continue reproducing the truth of suffering. Then next. Yeah, thank you. So this is why there is no truth of suffering. It's absent. So how you can get to what Maitreya got, right? It's funny they describe his enlightenment and then they say, oh, by the way, is he a bodhisattva or is he a Buddha, right?
Yeah. But well, yeah, if he's the coming Buddha, well, what do you mean he's going to be the next Buddha? Is he a Buddha or not?
I mean, it depends in which teachings we are in, secret or open, right? Okay, so Claudia is asking, is environmental destruction also my projection?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry.
And I always, it's a little bit difficult to tell people who suffer actively. I mean, in this moment, suffer from something. It's very sophisticated. It should be sophisticated if you explain to them that they actually caused what they lived through, because it's not that they're guilty in it, right? They didn't know what they were creating in the past. This is why they suffer. And the whole idea of these courses is to be conscious about what we are doing, because this is what will create a paradise for you, your own action.
And that's what it is to be human, right? We're at the, it's kind of 50-50, right? There's good things and there's bad things. And because of karma, there are good things that are dramatically better than your original action. And there's bad things that are dramatically better than your original action. And this is where, like, if you take this worldview and start applying it, you only have to be about 2% better, right?
Let's keep it at the end.
Okay, well, I keep that at the end. Okay, yeah. But we'll hang on. We'll talk a bit more about that. But your actions multiply dramatically. So, but the world is an exaggerated or a greatly multiplied reflection of your mind.
Okay, So why they say I've reached paradise is incorrect, right? Because you created with your actions, right? You literally created. But if you will think, same applies to I was born. I wasn't actually born. I created every single second of my consciousness with my past seeds. And I project everything. I mean, my life, my success. And because maybe we should talk about it here, right? We talk about negative karmas and afflictions. What will happen if you just know how the reality functions 2% of the time.
You want to talk about the 2%? Okay. So like if 2% of your actions are done with some kind of awareness of worldview, right? Like some desire to help every living being, some awareness that about the three spheres, of the the actor and the action and the recipient that we've talked about earlier. It can be enough to start changing your world. Just that 2%, right? Like you're going to tip the balance to the good side. That's the good side.
You do not force other people to believe what you believe. You just work peacefully, secretly in your own mind. You try to remember that it comes from you and not from its own side.
And then what you'll see is it goes in phases. And Geshe talked about this in Bodh Gaya. And he talked about it, frankly, more in the Vajrayana classes. So he kind of really gave a bit of a diamond way teaching in Bodh Gaya, and that's a hint to go listen to it. But as you start doing this, it's not like you're going to sit here and you're going to be an ordinary human being, and then one day you pop into an enlightened being. There'll be this progression that gets better, and this upward cycle. And at first it will be something surprising, right? Like what's an example of something surprising?
You definitely see changes. Like for you, probably the fact that you stopped fighting in the cockpit, with the
captains, okay, yeah, well,
right?
Yeah, that was that was one of the early, and this is 25 years ago. And yeah, I to put it bluntly, just you'd show up, it was hyper competitive and a bunch of military pilots, and could be tense in the cockpit, particularly back when all of the gauges were just analog. They were just numbers, and you had to figure out where you were and where you were going simply looking at a bunch of dials. And boy, if you came up with a different opinion of where you were at from the other guy, it could be tense. Because people would make mistakes and it would get them killed. And with computers, it's much less tense. But anyway,
yeah, so that's the surprising stage.
Well, yeah, so I used to be tense, and at one point I finally decided to stop fighting with the other guys, and then it just disappeared. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that's strange, because the cockpit and the environment had been tense for more than a decade, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And so okay, so
you noticed changes.
Yeah.
Okay. Put a plus who noticed changes recently.
Something surprising, right? Like
something that is not miracle, not people very important, but like, oh, it's something new.
Yeah, well, like so after 10 years of stressful environment, I stopped causing stress, and the guy next to me stopped causing it also. And then, I went the next 10 years without any problems at the same airline, doing the exact same job.
Then the next stage, what? 4%? Two more?
Surprising, amazing.
Remarkable results.
Yeah, I think he said amazing in Bulgaria. It's not the exact detail. It's no, you're still at 2%, right? Like 2% desire to save every living being, 2% worldview. I think, like for me, I'd had back pain for a decade. Like I don't have much of a disc left in my lower back. And had bad sciatica, and it just disappeared. Like I don't have any, I just never. It took about 3 or 4 years, frankly. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I mean that was pretty amazing, right? And he'd said all you need is 2%, and that's probably about what I had. But it was enough. Like, oh, okay, wow. You know, the doctors couldn't do anything about it. And why can't the doctors do anything about it? Well, I didn't have the karma, right? It's not up to a doctor to make you healthy. You might have the karma to have a doctor in your life who can make you healthy. But that karma is coming from you. It's not in the doctor. And so, it's up to you to fix those things. Do you have an example of what other example do you have of amazing? Like, wow, I didn't think, and it's not just your personal body.
No, like oh my God, I had so many changes like that, like the way I wanted to live in France. There was no chance for me to move there, and then out of a sudden, not only I moved to a country I loved, but I got a contract. I mean, I was working in center of Paris, out of all places. It was close to impossible. I mean, it was definitely a remarkable change. And I was doing 4 steps to move to France. So it took me half a year. And then out of nothing, a contract appeared, with a company in Paris. It was very surprising, remarkable. Then maybe your boss will give you a raise that is not expected at all, right? Maybe you will see that your neighbor who was, I don't know, playing music loud in the night, like suddenly moves out or something happens, like remarkable changes, right? Not only noticeable, but remarkable, amazing things.
Yeah, but it's bigger than just each of us as an individual. It's the world is coming from you. So if the crime rates go down,
Geshe Michael is talking often about New York crime rates.
Yeah.
He said that when he started to work in New York in 70s, they had rules how to behave, not to get into trouble. Don't cross this side of the street. Don't go after that hour. Right?
Oh, I saw it when I was a kid in the 1970s. Times Square was kind of a little dangerous, right? It was strip clubs, like in Manhattan, right? Like strip clubs, like women dancing naked, and like all these street hustlers running con games on the streets to take money from you. And it was kind of an unpleasant place. And then 20 years later, it's like, oh, in Times Square, oh, here's Walt Disney and all of these fancy restaurants. And it was all clean and like a very, very different city. And and it was safe, right? Like you didn't have to worry about drug dealers robbing you, and or
And
people mugging you, and that's coming from you.
Geshe Michael did not invest any second into making New York conventionally safe, right? He was just going through his teachings. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like he had to join the police force and lock up all the criminals to get rid of the problem. You change your mind, and you change even things like the city that you live in, right?
I think we have a problem with Ukrainian language translator.
Uh-oh.
Artem, can you fix it? People say that they cannot hear really Taras. Taras, do you have another microphone? Did you fix it?
Ви мене чуєте? Do you hear me?
Should we continue or not? Okay, very good.
And so then it's not just that, does it stop it? Like I cleaned up my mind and I saw New York get cleaned up. It keeps going. It's how you can see bigger miracles in your life, right? It's how you can see, angels come into your world, like literal angels that can do things that humans can't do. And you change your world into a paradise. And why? Well, because there is no this, right? I created paradise because there is no Evanston, right? We live in Evanston. You can change it. It's why it's possible, which is why Lord Buddha is going through all of this.
Honestly, the Evanston is good enough.
I like Evanston quite a bit.
This is my story, right? So you can have what level 2 if you get to noticeable changes or not noticeable, remarkable changes or amazing. It's like healing of something, like you get your job of the dream, you get your partner you never dreamed to have, right? I mean, it's you cannot explain it anymore with normal explanations because it doesn't make sense. 6%?
No, 2%. All it takes is 2%, right? It's because of the multiplying factor.
No, the next level.
Oh, I don't know. 2%. I would just say 2% the whole way, maybe because that's all I've got.
No, Geshe Michael, he says like when you get more, right?
I've got to increase the percent.
Yeah, you got to increase. So, but basically what I want to say, I heard different numbers like 2%, 4%, 6%, 8%, and sometimes like 10% is already enough for miracles. I mean, sheer miracles when completely impossible happens.
And it's not something that somebody else has. It's not that, oh, well, they're special and so they can see miracles, or they're really special and they can do miracles.
That's a special person.
Yeah, special person.
But only for Geshe Michael.
Yeah, right. That's not it. Is that you're meant to do these things. You're meant to see them, and you're meant to do them. You change you change and your world will change, and you'll see these things, and you don't have to. It happens, right? In a way that you don't have to manipulate it, right? In the same way that you can see a fancy, beautiful building in your dreams, right? Like, I'm not an architect, like, how does that happen? Yeah, right. Like, you plant some small seed and it grows. So same way with miracles.
Yeah, like
A little bit of goodness will ripen into something 1,000 times greater.
or maybe you travel somewhere to teach ACI, and then one of the students just happened to have 30-40 karat diamonds, right?
Oh yeah, right.
I was never involved in diamond industry. I was never thinking I will get to have something like that in my hands.
I think people
definitely not didn't have even one idea that I want to have a diamond in my hand,
Yeah, well, I think people, I don't, we told them the story in this course, yeah. Yeah, the diamonds, it was just extraordinary, right?
Yeah, this is what happens when you study the Diamond Cutter Sutra.
Yeah, right.
And maybe translate to one of the languages.
I mean, yeah, diamond's too big to be a ring.
Yeah, too big even to be a pendant.
Well, I mean, you could.
It's a stone.
You might have to exercise a little bit so it didn't hurt your neck.
Okay, what happens next? Then if you add 2 more percent, right? I mean, it's stunning changes, right? Things that you assure were impossible happen. I don't know, ecological changes, right? Claudia is asking how to stop the seed to see environmental destruction. More or less, this is the third principle. If you perceive it as dirty and disgusting, or maybe it can be another principle. If you perceive it as dangerous, right, then it's probably related more to your anger than to sexual misconduct. Depends on how you perceive it, and then you can stop these changes.
And it's I think it's fair to say at this point that it's not all beautiful and miraculous as you get better. Frankly, I'm going to say this because Geshe said it in Mexico City. We're watching democracy die in the United States, if it's not already dead. And they're like, well, okay, where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from me also, right? And it's a couple things. It motivates me to practice, right? So, what am I going to do? Am I going to go grab a sign and go to Washington, D.C. and say, this isn't right, or, like, get on the internet and, make funny pictures of politicians, and, that isn't going to change it, right? I got to keep going down this path. I got to keep working on clearing my mind of the mental afflictions, we asked Veronica, why are we seeing a rise in authoritarianism in the world? It's not just the United States, right? And she says, well, it's because of your rigidity, right? Like, there's something about me that's becoming inflexible as I get older. And that's why I'm having to see this. And it's like, oh boy. And then it motivates you to fix it, right? And it's not unusual. Like, great practitioners historically have lived in difficult times, because and we'll talk about this, but there's this purification process that goes on of your old bad seeds that as you move through the path, you have to clean them up. And there's something about the path that causes them to ripen. And I was having a headache last night I got traveler's bug, intestinal issues. And I was having a headache last night, and I was thinking, oh, well, hopefully that's something that would have been a hell realm. And instead of having to go take an entire rebirth in a hell realm, I'm just having, a bad night of it. And that's possible, that like you're burning up an old bad seed. And it seems to be, frankly, it seems to happen more strongly when you get around a powerful person like Geshe Michael. Your karma goes quicker.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Yeah. Well, but it's a good thing too, because
you would not know.
Well, the karmic purifications end up being pretty insignificant compared to what they would have been otherwise. So
yeah, so let's finish. So 2% changes noticeable, 4% remarkable, or surprising, amazing. 6% it's you cannot explain it. It's stunning. It's incredible, right? 8% you start to see miracles. I mean, miracles. Third level is when you see it on the environmental level already, right? Just 6%, and you see it on environmental level. So why do we talk about it? Because this is how you will see changes. It does not mean nothing bad will ever happen, but you will be able to connect these strange things going on around you to your path. And it will give you certainty in it, and how you call it, like a drive to move faster, right?
Do you want to talk about miracles?
Go ahead.
Have you seen miracles?
I cannot tell.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see something like, it's interesting because Geshe Michael in Bodh Gaya talked about some miracles he'd seen, and then he drops them as these little quick stories, and you kind of miss it. And then later on, you hear the whole story about it. And so, yeah, things that shouldn't be possible in a conventional world, things that aren't possible in a conventional world start happening. Like, I mean, cool things. Like we met a lady in Mexico City who made $1 million in a year.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't know about it yet. And so
in our project.
Yeah, we kind of were helping some people with their money karma, and she'd made $1 million in a year, which had not been possible before. And we've seen people who had terminal cancer, a death sentence, and then they get rid of their cancer. And if you know somebody like this, even if you hear this story and have some kind of belief that it actually happened, which it did, and well, then that's your karma too, right? Like your karma got better. You're like, that's your world has changed a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. Maybe it is possible to cure cancer with your mind, right? Maybe it is possible to create $1 million in a year with generosity, right? It's not like you have to go out and sell.
And there is nothing else that works anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole trick is how to train my mind to be in the place I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we can.
There's other miracles. I mean, when you get to the frankly advanced classes, there's more miracles that are cool.
Mhm. Okay, let's go to how we actually reach this Buddha paradise. So first, we study emptiness. The whole Diamond Cutter Sutra is about it. And second, we purify our karma, our mental seeds that are stopping us from reaching what we want to reach. The problem is that we constantly create this dirty white karma, and we need pure white karma. So the whole path that you will go to get to your Buddha paradise is just two things. You constantly create good things, do good things with understanding of emptiness. And two, you should find and destroy your bad seeds. Find and destroy. And in this, from this perspective, this is when you are becoming a spiritual warrior. Because you will find everything that you have done with some bad intentions, some bad stuff in your past. You will destroy it. Maybe there will be a little bit of a bad result, but it will go away, right?
And by bad, we mean ignorant, that you just didn't understand what you were doing.
Yeah. So what are the 4 powers that we do to purify those seeds? It's slide 3, I think. I don't know, 3 or 4. Force of foundation. Yeah. Tenki top. And I will translate it into a modern language because this is obviously Geshe Michael old language. He does not apply it anymore. We call it the power of the basis, but what it means, you remember emptiness. You remember that everything comes from you, and the only person who will suffer from what you have done is you. And the second power is the force of destruction, Nampar Sunji Petop. And it's when you regret what you have done. By regret, we do not mean you feel guilty. We mean I did something that was not good to another person, something I'm not proud of. I hurt another person, and I will not do it again. It was stupid. The only person who will suffer from now on will be me. I don't want it. I regret doing it. It was silly, it was stupid. That's it. No guilt. Third force is force of restraining from the bad deed, or you also can think of it like you decide you will not do it again. Or if it's too difficult, like for example, I cannot promise I will never get angry, because sometimes I get angry and I notice too late, right? I already got angry. Then you promise that you will do your best to stop yourself from this, and that you will learn how to make it happen. And maybe you can promise not to get angry for 1 hour and go somewhere, take a walk, or maybe one day, because you know you will go into your one-day retreat and you will not see anybody else. But it should be like a little bit challenging, right? If you think that no problem 1 hour, then maybe take 1 hour, 15 minutes or something. And this is the third power. I will not do it again. Niepale lando petop. The fourth power is the power of applying the antidote. So you basically do something opposite to the harm that was done in the past. Like if I think that, let's take an example. I remember I was purifying my karma of stealing because I was thinking, okay, I feel that I don't have enough money. I should purify this karma. For a while, nothing was happening, and then I decided to apply a powerful antidote. And I was what I was doing. I opened. So I had an apartment. I was renting out, but it was difficult for me to register it all correctly. And I took a trip to Ukraine. I registered everything, legally. And people would not do it that time, people would just take money for the apartment and would not do it officially. And I did everything officially. It took me time and money. That was my power of antidote for my previous bad deeds. And then, of course, you have a small disaster, right, happening. I remember my small disaster. First of all, I was unhappy that nothing happens. Everybody else had some kind of losses, small fines, people practicing together with me. And I was like, no, nothing happens. And then we went to Rome where my son had a competition. He was a competitive dancer. And all our luggage was stolen. I mean, it was not a big disaster because mostly we had old stuff there. Even his dancing costumes were old and he would never wear them again anyway. And it was after the competition. So he took his, I do not remember, second or third place. But I had a laptop, a working laptop, and I was like, oh my God, they will give me a hard time. Because in pharmaceutical industry, they are stealing secrets from each other. So if an employee loses the laptop, it's a big deal. And I was like, oh my God, probably I will have to pay. I will have to answer questions, maybe police, maybe something else. And guess what happened? Like, this is the miracle of 4 powers. Even some kind of small bad thing happens to you, it never lasts. Like my laptop at my work was replaced. I had even no questions about it. Like just boom, boom, you will get tomorrow a new one. That's it. We will recover your systems and that's it. Maybe I had to do the work from the last day or something. The source, by the way, of the 4 powers is the Sutra on the 4 practices taught by Lord Buddha Shakyamuni. So we decided to do it this way because I remember a teacher who taught me this class. He was very cruel because he stopped the previous class with the quote I will tell you right now. And left. And we were like shocked. He said, okay, there is a famous quote from this Diamond Cutter Sutra. It's really there. You can find it. O Subhuti, any son or a daughter of a noble family who listens to this sutra or similar to this one, holds it, reads it, learns it, will be suffering. He or she will suffer.
And suffer greatly.
So because...
There have been times when I found that comforting. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm on the path.
Okay. So
and suffer greatly. Okay, I'm doing this correctly.
anybody who is going through this teaching will suffer and suffer greatly. This is all because it's not that they are doing something wrong. This is the key point in this sutra. It's because they are doing great. They are purifying the bad karma from lots of previous lifetimes, not just from this past life, from this life, but from your past lives. The karma that would lead them to lower realms. So like hell realms, animal realms, hungry ghost realms. This is how they purify this karma. It looks like suffering to them. Not only they're successful in purifying their bad karma, but this is also how they're getting closer to enlightenment. Inhale, exhale, too late. You had already the Diamond Cutter Sutra. And you should not be scared, to be honest.
My personal experience has been with, you know, like how bad does it get, honestly?
Unpleasant.
Not so bad that it breaks you. Like you may have a breakdown in the moment. You will have a breakdown. You will fail if you're on this path. But
when you will fail, you will succeed.
Exactly. Yeah. My experience has been that I mean, you know the world. It's not playing around, right? I mean, it's this place is lethal. And so you know, when my experience is it's not easy, but you can handle it. That it never so sometimes it would push me over the edge, and I would end up having just a complete breakdown, you know, like over the cliff, like Wile E. So it's kind of like why you don't have Wile E. Coyote, do you? There's an American cartoon where this crazy coyote's always chasing this roadrunner bird. Anyway, he'll do something stupid and he'll fall off a cliff and get smashed up, and then he picks himself back up again. He always survives this horrible accident. And that's kind of been my experience, is that you'll have something and you'll blow up a complete mental affliction attack.
Yeah.
Or you'll get, you know, sick or be in a car accident.
Yeah, that's Bill's experience. My experience, I get sick.
And then, but you can handle it. That it's difficult, but it hasn't stopped me, and I don't think it's going to. And I don't think I'm done cleaning stuff up. And in fact, I know I'm not. But you can handle it, right? And then what helps is understanding the process, is that, you know, if you're human, you basically have spiritual cancer. You know, it's inside of you. It's killing you, and you have to cut it out. And you know, it's easier to go through the pain of cutting it out than to go through the pain of letting it grow and kill you. And so, you know, and again, on the hopeful side, my personal experience has been it won't break you.
And what I would recommend as a person who is for a while in these teachings, that was my personal mistake, that I didn't discover what are my main stuff that I know I have to purify. There are two things. First, maybe you remember, and for me, it was the case. I heard somebody at some point in my past, and I knew I did it. Took me a while to purify it, a long time, to be honest. Especially if you have done something like abortion, please purify it as soon as you can. It will never grow backwards. It will grow only onwards. And Geshe Michael in his class was talking about Vietnam veterans that were back from the war, and they would come to classes with Ken Rinpoche and would ask him how they can purify, because they were killing people, and it's a very difficult karma to have, right? So his advice was to take care of somebody who is alive, right? Even maybe not a person. If you are lucky and you can help somebody to to treat themselves, right? To get medical help, that's great. But even if you don't, maybe you want to take care of an animal, like Geshe Michael it was a funny story, because he talks about a guy who decided to take care of a sheep, because he was thinking, okay, sheep do not live long. And the damn sheep lived 18 years.
Well, yeah, isn't that the story where the student of Ken Rinpoche had been in the Vietnam War, and then he went and asked him how to clean it up, and he wasn't sure that he even killed anybody. He just fired his rifle into the jungle blindly, and wasn't sure if he
could,
wasn't sure if he killed anybody or not. And Ken Rinpoche told him, "Well, take care of." I thought it was a goat.
Sheep.
Was it a sheep?
I don't know, actually. I have a sheep in my
not important, goat, sheep. But yeah, so he told him to take care of this goat/sheep.
And when you will do your antidote, just be bold and brave, that's it. I'm cleaning it and it will be cleaned. I'm done, do not, when you have done all the antidotes, you thought in advance which antidotes will be comparable to my actions, okay, this is too weak, this is maybe too much, okay, this is more than I have done, definitely. Like Geshe Michael was teaching children for 10 or 15 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
As an antidote to him doing for his girlfriend who has done an abortion when he was at college.
Yeah.
So just please do the antidotes. Then the next question is actually exactly about this concentration sutra, King of Concentration Sutra, right? If a little disaster has not happened, shall I do 4 steps again? 4 powers, right? Yeah, continue to do 4 powers. There will be a small disaster. You will know exactly when you will purify the seeds. There is a feeling.
I would say, well, okay, I can go with that. Like, you kind of have a sense, like a personal sense of whether or not you're done with something, but it could be hard to say, like I had a headache last night, which isn't normal for me. I don't normally have headaches, but what was that specifically related to? I have no idea, like, if you're prone to headaches, it comes from not keeping your vows.
Mm-hmm.
And do I know which vow it was that I didn't keep? Well, no, I've broken too many of them to tell you which one.
You cannot say this in front of the students.
Too late. It's I couldn't tell you which ones, but
yeah. Okay, so the question is, the Diamond Cutter Sutra says that the person who reads or studies the sutra will suffer intensely. Why so? And this is very important to understand. This is because you study emptiness, apply the most powerful antidote for your bad deeds, for your past bad karmas. And in the King of Concentration Sutra, they say that the power of studying emptiness is such that causes these bad karmic seeds ripen quickly, of course, weakened, right? Much less force. And it can be like the whole life in the hell realm can ripen as a headache, for example. So what happens to smart students after they had this class, they become a little bit strange. I mean, no, not a little, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Because they become fanatic about being happy about bad things happening to them. They say like, yeah, okay, headache, great. one hell realm life less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the last class, the last question left is which of the four forces is especially related to the subject matter of the Diamond Cutter Sutra. And this is the antidote that we study emptiness. This is the make-up activity or antidote force number 4, right? Nyenpo kuntu chupetop. And that was the last question of the homework.
So are miracles possible? I mean, can you really do it? I'm in Chicago. Is it possible for me to see Ola in Paris?
No.
No,
she's in Paris. How you can see her?
Is it possible for me to see Artem in Ukraine?
No.
Is it possible for me to hear
Taras in Kiev?
Yeah,
probably somewhere.
Is it possible for me to hear them? Right? Well, no, that's crazy. You know, that they're like on the other side of the planet. Of course, I can't do that. I mean, could I
marry Ina via Zoom?
Yeah. Could I get married to a lady in Lyon when I'm in Chicago?
This is how we got married. We got married on Zoom. He was here in this apartment. I was in my Lyon apartment in France, and our clerk was in
Utah.
Prevo, Utah state.
Yeah.
State of Utah.
I mean, can I travel to the other side of the world? I mean, honestly, like if Ina and I really wanted to, I mean, I'm tired and sick, and and I've got to go to work
but
on.
You can jump on a plane,
and I've got to go to work on Tuesday. But if somebody said, "Hey, for like it's critical that you be in France tomorrow," I mean, we could get up and go walk to the airport and get on a plane and.
Like if right now we can be in France in less than probably 12
hours. No, I mean, like yeah, we're sitting here, but if we had to be in. I don't know. It's kind of sounded kind of appealing now.
This is what I did with London, remember?
Yeah.
It was 8 p.m. I was here in the apartment and Bill is texting me, I feel like it is important for you to come, even though I was a little bit afraid to leave the US because I was not sure what will happen with the immigrants. And he's saying like, come to London. It was 8 p.m. 10 p.m. I was on the flight already.
Yeah. I mean, in the Yoga Sutras, they give a list of miracle powers, right? Being able to see things at a distance, being able to hear things at a distance, being able to, see what other people are doing, being able to travel quickly, It's
And you can explain it with your normal logic. That's up to you. But this is what is to have
you can make it ordinary, right? You can take these miracles and dismiss them and turn them into dirt, or you can appreciate them for what they are. And it's not any less of a miracle because you have to have a little box about the size of a piece of cardboard in order to do it. No, it's like you're surrounded by miracles, and uh, and don't dismiss it, and don't think that greater miracles aren't possible.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
And the seed to plant miracles ready? Everybody wants to know what is the seed to have miracles. I'm not convinced. Maybe they don't. Or maybe they know. Is to notice miracles, to be grateful to for what you see and for what you have. I mean, for me, airplane is a miracle still every single time. I'm like, oh my God, I know physics. I did the exam, in physics, actually, many of them. But it's still a miracle that that many tons of iron is just flying, I'm sorry, in the sky.
And it's not just you or me or some magic yogi, it's everybody, like we see planes every day. It's really, it's a miracle.
And if you will compare yourselves to ancient kings, you think they were powerful? I mean, who could fly? Who could take an airplane? Like Louis XIV couldn't. Poor guy didn't have a bathroom in his building and didn't have a kitchen in his building. They had to bring cold food.
You think it would be a miracle to ride a dragon? Ooh. Well, you're still outside. You're going to get rained on. They're kind of slow. An airplane's better. Less temperamental.
Yeah, and maybe dragon will not like you also.
Well, yeah. I mean, no bathroom. You can't get a Coke.
You see? We are not being silly. We are being really, we try to push you out of your normal gray thinking. You are an author of many, many miracles that you do not perceive.
Yeah. Well, and just enjoy them and be aware of them and create more miracles.
Okay, now the last thing, because I wanted to talk about priorities in the practice, we will do it next time. But the last thing that I cannot miss is because I promised to tell you the second part of the King of Kalinka story.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard this.
And this is, for me, is perfect here because this is how you change your world. Like you study it, you get upset, like, really? Somebody will cut my fingers? This is what they mean? My hands or something? And I have to pretend nothing happens or what? No, this is not the story. If you plant right seeds, then Geshe Michael will come as he did and he will tell you, I bumped into a second part of this story. Basically, the Bodhisattva didn't die. He stayed with no fingers or whatever, hands, feet in the woods. And something bad started to happen with the kingdom. The rain stopped, all kinds of disasters, sicknesses, probably COVID or something, ancient COVID maybe. And the king didn't know what to make out of it. He went to his sage that was advising him, and he asked him, and he looked up in I don't know, maybe he used astrology, maybe he talked to some deities or whatever. He said, you hurt a saint person, a holy person. And this is why the local deities, they turned onto you and they will destroy you and your
Mm.
kingdom. Because they loved the Bodhisattva so much. He was taking care of them, and they loved his teachings. So he went back to the woods, found this poor Bodhisattva with no limbs apparently left. And he said, look, I'm sorry. I know I hurt you. I know you felt pain because of me. I probably was insane. I don't know why I have done it. And the Bodhisattva looked at him and he said, you think you have the power to hurt me? He said, I'm sorry, but you have no arms, no legs, like you cannot walk. And the Bodhisattva says, you kind of take too much on yourself, thinking that you can do any kind of harm to myself. He said, yeah, okay, maybe because you do not hurt other people, you did not feel much pain, but you cannot walk. You don't have hands, arms, like legs, feet. And he said, no, that's not true. And with the next second, he grows back all his arms, legs, fingers, and toes. And this is the end of the story. So apparently it was a lesson for a king not to think that he is omnipotent, all-powerful. Yeah. This part of the story I heard from Geshe Michael when we were translating Mixed Nuts.
Mm.
That's it.
One last thing. Even your past is empty. All of your problems, all of the things that are causing you to suffer now, they can change too.
Even the end of the story can change.
So
that I didn't like. I hated the story for many years.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking
So
that Bodhisattva does not deserve it anyway.
Yeah, it's scary, right? Well, that's an improvement in my karma because I don't remember hearing that. So your past can change. All of your problems, maybe they're just pushing you towards enlightenment.
100%, not maybe.
Maybe. Well, I'm going to say maybe.
100%. Okay.
10%.
No. Okay. We can argue after. How much? Okay, close your eyes. Think about what you have just done, because boy, if you made it to this class, you have amazing karma. Really, I claim it. You have amazing karma. You are very unusual people. So think about your time that you spent here and just make a decision. Even you don't know how exactly it will happen. Just dedicate all the seeds that you have planted to see your noticeable, remarkable, amazing, incredible, unbelievable, miraculous changes in your world, and yourself getting enlightened for the sake of every living being. With the exhale, send all these rays of light from your seeds to every living being there is to help them. Go back to your breathing, open your eyes. By the way, that's a training how to send emanation in the future. It's a seed. Thank you, translators. You are amazing.
Thank you,
Thank you, everybody, all the technical people, students. You are amazing just because you understand the power of these teachings.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here and giving us the opportunity to talk about these things. It's so much fun, and keep going, do good things, and I promise you will get amazing things back.
You will see how deep the rabbit's hole is.
Uy.